GM, everybody. Happy Thursday, man. At the last 2 weeks, I've only got to do one show per week.
Man,
feels a little sad. What do you got? What do you got going on back there, Adam? You got a
That's my
little
new
AI generated backdrop.
Yeah, I got the I don't Chris. I don't know who put this little backdrop, this thing out. I was like, that's a cool backdrop. Yeah, I wanted, I'm at my wife's place at her lab for the show today. We got no electricity at my house. Big work going on outside the house. So yeah, I'm on the road today, man. So it's kind of fun.
GM Verdandi, good to see you as always. One of my favorite people in crypto, man.
Best to ever do it.
Best to ever do it. And excited. Maybe I have to come down to Marfa for the NFT conference. Seems like that's like the big thing now. Today she was telling me.
Yeah, we keep getting invited, so maybe we should go one of these times.
Need to go. What I gotta say, I'm tired of ETH Denver. I'm tired of NFT NYC. We've done NFT Miami twice. Bitcoin Vegas is here. So we'll be Bitcoin Vegas. Apparently doing a Pepe penthouse party at one of the venues. Bunzy's DJing and Skrilla, so it should be interesting. Yeah, apparently Bobby Zoo lives out here. I didn't even know that. Everyone know him? He was a big stamps collector for a while.
For sure. I know I saw people talk about NFT NYC and I was like, wow, who's going to that, man? That is going to be lightly attended, man. Holy smokes. I don't know. Maybe OpenSea.
Yeah, we'll see, man. So catching up a little bit on where we're at with everything, and then we'll dive into some news. Finished up a bunch of migrations, man. We finished up the war migration, which was the #1 trending coin at the time. We got Mitchie, which was the #1 trending meme at the time. Two of the largest migrations by holder base. I'm definitely feeling that on the back end. The war holder base was 85,000. Mitchie was 45,000. Meme coin with an insane turnout as well. Learned a lot about where the edges are within Migrate Fund, but I think we've got them all decked out. Got a lot more centralized exchanges. I guess on board with Migrate Fund after this. I truly think Mark Zuckerberg was right when he said move fast and break things, because we tried to play nice for years or decades, and ultimately the best way to get exchanges to pay attention was literally break their exchange. Right? Like that's literally the only way they start engaging now.
Yeah, that's funny that you brought that up. I was going to send you guys a podcast that you should listen to about like Machiavelli and how like the best leaders can't be like the best people because they don't have what it takes to actually succeed. And sometimes you need to really ruffle feathers to actually get where you need to be. I'm going to send that to you guys after. So.
Yeah, dude, it's the idea of aligned incentives, right? And I mean, we've seen it. They only basically want to deal with you or will deal with you if they're starting to receive like pain stimulus, right? And like, I don't even know, like one, I won't even mention the name, but it was like, we told them about the migration of this one particular token like 2 weeks ago. And just basically they ghosted us, just completely ignored. And then they come back and they're like, hey man, we got to make this right. And it's like, make what right, bro? You didn't pause trading. You didn't pause deposits or withdrawals. Your shit's screwed up. Sorry, bro. So yeah, hopefully going forward, everybody gets in line because nobody wants to feel this fucking pain. I wouldn't want to be in exchange having to deal with a bunch of pissed off people who lost money. Like nobody wants to deal with that. So creating systems where it's not painful actually for us becomes a great moat, right? It's just like, we know how difficult this is. This is fucking hard as shit for months on end. So I think building out these infrastructure pieces actually just gives us just incredible moat, man.
Incredible. There's a few there's like three main, I guess you'd say, pain points for Migrate Fund. And it all has to do with like the ability to not connect to the site to migrate your tokens. And so we all have them, but with the exchanges, I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to build a partner portal that fits all of their procedures and guidelines and is automated. And we discussed it internally this week on how to improve that experience, and we will. But ultimately, that eventually becomes the moat. It's almost like regulatory arbitrage, right? Because once you get all these exchanges involved and they're signed on, and they start expressing to us There are issues. One of the major exchanges we're working with had told us that they've been actually looking for a standardized migration partner to deal with all the migrations because they're all right. They're all they've been individualized this whole time, and it's like a giant trust me bro system. But if there's a standard, then they send us all their business. And I have no idea how many migration requests these exchanges get. I'm assuming probably a lot because people are always moving. And that's why migrations will always continue because it's literally you're fighting human behavior of getting up and moving. That's literally what humans were born to do. Migrate. That's literally
We're nomads.
that's like that. That's literally definition number one. Humans move places. Like that's never going to change. And that only becomes accelerated on crypto because now you don't have the physical reality that's holding you back, right? I can only walk so far. My body can only push so far, but if I can move this through digital landscape, then right, there's different limitations. So that'll be accelerated.
Yeah, I think one of the issues we're going to have to deal with and are dealing with right now is this idea of like, well, what are the standards, right? And being able to create the standards is kind of amazing, right? But thinking about it a lot from our perspective on like, okay, what's fair, what's reasonable, and I know our thought process has changed a lot over the last 6 months, because there's no perfect, right? And so just trying to get what's transparently fair for holders as well as teams. There might never be a perfect, but it's kind of fun to get to set the standard basically, which is really cool, and will just make it seamless or easy for teams to do it in the future where larger teams, we want to move, we don't know how, and they just come to us and it's done. Might not be completely perfect, but as near to perfect as possible. I just think it just opens up the door. It's like whatever. It's like Pump made launching tokens easy. We make migrations easy, and then the floodgates just happen where people they see the incentives are better on the other side, on different chains, wherever it may be. And this is not going anywhere. So I'm pretty psyched.
Yeah, you about blockchains competing for top protocols.
Totally.
Like that'll or top projects that are always be a case. So standardizing it's not easy. You have to protect the users. People get confused. People lose money. There's always going to be bumps in the road. But ultimately, I don't think this train is slowing down anytime soon. And actually, we'll be expanding EVM to Solana here next month with the Bobo migration from ETH mainnet to Sol. $1 million liquidity pool. They're excited. We have all the pieces done, and now it's all getting set up to testnet. It's going to be kind of interesting. I've never ran through a full test between two test nets on two different blockchains. I don't know if anyone actually has, to be honest, but it'll be, it's something new. So once we get that done, then Bobo will be funneling down. Got a bunch of other projects who've reached out. And I do think once we get like the exchange partner portal and all this set up, I think you'll see multi-cent-to-million-dollar projects wanting to move around because comes to find out, almost every project's unhappy where they're at. It just seems like no one's happy with anything. And people are just looking for better incentives.
People. Yeah, everybody wants better, man. We all do. Everybody does, right? And so it's just, that's what I think. It's like also this thing accelerates, right? Where it's not just like you move once. No, these teams are going to move again and again. Like it's just who's going to have the best incentives at any particular moment in time, and then us providing that infrastructure for teams to move easily. That's it, man. It's just we're still in the baby step. Like still, just this idea is still very 90% of teams, 95% of teams have no idea this is even taking place. Right? They haven't even considered it. And then when they consider, wait a minute, how much we can get some supply back? Wait a minute, we can get some of the LP, unlock it, make it, bring it back to the team, have a thinner LP. Change up it changes everything. And those sort of incentives, once people learn about them, bro, it's like, it's a no-brainer for a lot of teams.
Got to follow the heart of the teams and not the panic of the crowd. I did see over this recent migration, a bunch of, I guess you call them trenchers, upset about migrations, how it changes the dynamic of trading, splitting communities, different things like that. I've seen a few people try to write exposés on Migrate Fund with just completely imperfect information.
You mean their GPTs wrote fucking exposés?
Yeah,
bro. It's like I know if it's 1,000 words, I know it's written by a computer. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Yeah.
It's the people can't even get the revenue numbers right when it's literally on DeFi Llama.
Yeah.
It's like the only available number, and they're still like, there's one number that's available, and it's true, but they can't find it. It's crazy.
They inflate our revenue numbers by like 10x. I wish our revenue numbers were the numbers they said. Man, it would be in a much different position. Fuck.
I think that the biggest point of concern for them is that we're like purposely thinning out the LP. We're not thinning out the LP at all. At this point, most projects are moving to pump. We're just buying the bottom curve on pump fund. We don't have a say in what the LP is. We just buy the market cap to where it was before.
Yep.
So we actually can't modify the LP or how much it goes into the LP because it's based on the bonding curve math that pump fund sets. So we're not purposefully modifying the LP at all or thinning it out by any means. We're just getting it to the same market cap that it was previously. And with pump fund system, that takes less money. So there's less money in the LP.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I mean, part of the reason teams actually desire that is to create a thinner LP so that prices can move again. You know, some of these old tokens that have been around for 18 months or whatever literally can't move because the LP is so thick, has gotten so thick over the year, right? And so, yeah, it's some people want this, some people want that. There's no perfect solution. It's like you got to feel like teams and CTO projects or whatever, they might know the best, they might not, right? But you know, people are trying things to make their communities vibrant again, and I don't think there's any doubt that Michi grabbed a whole bunch more attention, awareness. I mean, bro, it's like they brought back their token. So, you know, it gave them a real nice fresh start here. So we've talked about that a lot. And I think, you know, when teams are debating, well, should we do it or not? What should we do? You know, there is no perfect solution, and migrations aren't like a magic wand. But if you look at what Michi did, it's like that's a real good use, you know, test case for how you can kind of bring your project back. So yeah, it's pretty awesome for those guys.
Yeah, that was the most pronounced migration squeeze I ever seen, and it had a thick LP too. So it had like a few $1 million in trading volume. It was funny. I saw one of the exposés had said that the Migrate Fund team, is the one that pumped Michi. I was like,
I'm like, maybe Chris did. I don't know, man. Chris with all that.
No, it's a rule internally that we don't trade the migrating teams, and that's we really don't. I mean, you know, there's good opportunities, but honestly, we just have so much going on. But I think other people are catching on that it's something that you can do, but there's nothing internally from us at all.
Well, my thoughts, like, I mean, that person is definitely, and I like what Michi did right here with the on deck screener with the pump swap moving symbol. So it went from 700K to 7 million within like a 48-hour period. But they were saying we pumped it. And I was like, the risk return of taking $3 million to buy a token to make another 10 grand, that is like the worst RR I've ever heard of in my life. I would never do that.
Yeah, you pumped it to have a fat LP so you guys can, you know, suck off your 5%. I'm like, bro, you're fucking insane.
Well, I mean, it is true that we want the price to go as high as possible because the protocol makes more revenue. Like that's the incentive, right? The incentive for the migration protocol is to get as many people to participate as possible so that they can have all their community on the other side, which therefore then makes the price go up because all the tokens are locked, which then means more revenue for the protocol. Like, of course, yeah, that's nothing. I think we've been upfront about that the whole time. Like, that's literally the whole incentive. Surprise, we're a revenue generating protocol. Like,
I think you should do it for free. I think you should ruin your life for 18 hours a day, talking to hundreds, thousands of migrators for free.
For free. Yeah.
Do it for free, man. Do it for free. So now that's how you know you're hitting the right spot, because people are upset. But the goal for us is to make sure that every migrator has an ability to interact with the migration. Like, obviously there's some areas, and I'm spending, 18 hours a day doing these manual redemptions, and it's literally like, I'm still not done. Like, I think by the end of this week, we'll be done with the War and Michi and Meme Coin kind of manual process. But I've had to put my foot down on these exchanges over the last few days, and it is quite exhausting, to say the least. But they're all getting in line. And the ones who aren't, they're out. We just tell them, all right, you're out. Sorry. One thing I've learned is that Migrate Fund is one of these disruptors that it controls the game. It's not the other way around. We're on chain. We impact the off chain solutions. which impacts all the exchanges protocols. It also impacts a lot of the on-chain protocols, the LPs, right? Like Meteor and Radium, definitely not happy with us in the beginning, but we try to provide solutions. And at the end of the day, these people want to move. We're going to help them move. And, if there's things that are broken along the way, we'll look back and see what's broken. We'll attempt to fix it. And if the partners and protocols don't want to fix it, then, they can remove the tokens, I guess. I don't know. Right. It's kind of like it's just moving from one house to another. Sometimes when you move, I don't know if anyone's ever moved here. I've moved like 10 different times in my life. When you leave a house, that shit is not perfectly clean. Right? Like it's partly dirty. Sometimes people are leaving their dresser behind or whatever. And migrations are kind of the same way. But obviously you want to make it perfect and nice, but it's not always the case depending on who's moving.
And you just see how, so much of this stuff is completely centralized, right? And so, you're basically dealing with, teams. I mean, we've dealt with, I don't know, was it RugCheck it's RugCheck, it's Phantom, it's any of these kind of companies that, they don't necessarily want to play ball, right? And you have whatever, we've done 70 migrations and they're like, don't care, pay us a bunch of money to fix our shit, and it's like, but bro, you are literally, I'm not going to name the company, but like you are literally a service which is protecting or supposedly protecting people against like bundled transactions. And you're reading our vault, our migration vault, as one giant bundled transaction. Bro, what are you doing? Like, look, there are 70 of them here. Fix this. You're wrong. This is wrong. You're providing wrong information. And they're like, sure, pay us $45,000. It's like, well, no, dude, you're wrong. And it's like, doesn't matter. Like, if you want to fix our wrongness, you have to pay us. And that, to me, that's super disappointing and retarded, but it is what it is, man. Everybody's got to make their money or whatever. But you'd figure some of these ones, which are supposed to be providing like informational services to traders, like they just don't give a shit. And
everything is pay to play. Everything is
stunning, man. Stunning, bro. Stunning.
Yeah. The platforms that are supposed to verify you to be, I guess you would say, fair and safe. The only way to be fair and safe is if you pay them. You're a rug until you pay me the bribe. That's literally kind of what it is.
It's literally
it's
insane, like, right?
It's upsetting and it sucks, but unfortunately, that's just the way that the crypto industries has evolved to. Maybe the whole world's really kind of evolved to that.
Yeah.
But,
it's all fake.
Yeah, and it's funny because you have to go through all of these hoops and ladders. Like I remember when we were trying to get the RugCheck thing removed from the hustle token on CoinGecko. CoinGecko is like, oh, this company verifies it. Then we go to that company and they're like, oh, CoinGecko verifies it. Then we go back to CoinGecko. They're like, they said that you verify it. And they're like, oh, no, we actually use this other service. And then we go to that service and they're like, no, the other service does it. And you're like, okay, who am I actually supposed to talk to here? Like there's literally, everyone just keeps sending me in circles. And ultimately everything's a rug then until you go pay them.
Yeah. I mean, I've lost, you realize now all this idea of like bubble maps and rug checks and all this sort of stuff. It's just almost like, it's all just basically bullshit kind of, which is kind of disappointing. I just, the way I would say it now is just, you realize you have to assume everything is a bundled rug, right? It's just, that's the way everything is. And so it is what it is. Certainly the meme coin space, but yeah. I've lost a lot of faith in some of these platforms that previously I thought were really user focused, meaning they're there to protect their users. And I realize now they could give a two shits. Like they just want money, which, by the way, it's not like these companies, some of them haven't made tens, if not hundreds of millions of fucking dollars. And they still don't have the best interest of their users at heart is insane to me. Like, I don't get that, honestly.
Yeah, the one thing I've learned is I know who the good exchanges are now. The centralized exchanges. So those are ones that we're building relationships for to list Emblem with and work with Migrate Fund, right? It's a whole process with that. Obviously, every exchange is pay for play for listing a token. Some of them are literally 7 figures that they charge. As you build a closer relationship with them, then you're hopeful those prices come down or you could come to some agreement, right? So kind of going through those conversations. And then the trading apps, I've learned which ones are the good ones and which ones are pay for play. And I have to say, generally, the higher you get to the top of the platforms, generally, the more closed off they are. although it's not always the case. So I've been building good relationships with a lot of the launch pads and stuff like that as well. So pretty good people there. And yeah, we're just going to continue to grind. Migrate Fund. It's one of those disruptors. I don't see it going away anytime soon, and it's only just going to continue to grow. So it's a good octopus to have, especially as it grows. Cross chain. So
Yep.
Migrate.
There's only going to be more tokens, man. There's how many tokens were there last year? 1 billion or 2 billion?
Well, if it is true that Pump's expanding to EVM, you could kind of see this world where because Pump literally just sends us business, right? They'll never tweet about Migrate Fund. Fine. That's fine. Not a single launchpad's ever tweeted about Migrate Fund. Not a Bonk Fund, not a Pump Fund, not Meteora, not Radium. None of them have ever tagged Migrate Fund. Fine. You know where you stand. They all send us business. So, which is completely fine. But you could see a world where Pump Fund expands to Base and they're like, hey, help Base projects migrate to Pump EVM, right? And you could just see that continue and just to be plug and play kind of system. So
I mean, it really is a mess to deal with these migrations and hundreds, thousands of community members, exchanges that are totally off the rails. It would be difficult to imagine a team that's focused on something else trying to focus on migrations. So a good place to be for Migrate Fund. Good place. And then the Emblem token coming pretty soon. I think Emblem's got a lot of potential. We'll have some announcements out here probably at the end of the month. It'll be probably in early April. There won't be anything crazy. It'll be pretty much similar thing that everyone's used to. So everyone's had the time. Just make sure that you're prepared and ready to migrate over. And we're setting up some awesome stuff. Chris has been in the damn trenches, dude, building some insane stuff for the Emblem terminal. Johnny goes a little bit of a deep dive and the profound invention of streaks. Streaks is a banger feature that we added to the Emblem AI platform. Absolutely groundbreaking tech. Never been seen before except on the Emblem AI platform. But I mean, there's just different boxes that you have to check when you're building a product. And our company has always been very, very tech focused. But sometimes that's not the best way to build a product. Sometimes you should lean into more like aesthetics or more like user friendliness or just like approachability. And so we started very, very tech heavy, and we're actually kind of inverting. Although the tech isn't changing, it's only getting more powerful. We're just leaning into being more user friendly, more approachable, and just kind of polishing all the rough edges that we had over the last 15 months or 18 months. So it'll be very user centric. It'll be very reward heavy. It'll be very integrated with the Emblem token. It'll be basically the flagship product of Emblem because it connects all of our products in-house under one umbrella. So as in terms of just features, there's an onslaught of features that are coming that'll be released as we approach the Emblem migration. I think everyone's going to be happy and pretty blown away. And obviously I'm not biased at all, but it's easily the most performant and #1 crypto AI terminal that exists today. So every day I research all the products on the market, and there's nothing even close to what we're building at Emblem AI. And the fact that we're this far in 18 months and there's not another strong competitor other than maybe Banker, which is obviously phenomenal and doing their own thing, kind of going their own route, but building directionally in the same place that we are. The space has so much room to grow. You look at these general AI platforms. I mean, they're reaching like 2 billion users a month already, like 20% penetration on the world, basically 25, which is insane. I mean, us in Banker, we're reaching like thousands of users. I mean, not only do we have like tens of thousands to go, millions to go, tens of millions, hundreds of millions to go. And crypto is just in its infancy. Crypto AI is so clearly the path forward. And I couldn't be more excited about the positioning that we have at this current moment.
Is it true that you are the streak leader on Emblem AI?
There is no one that has a higher streak than me at this point in time. I was thinking maybe I should give it up and let the community
run it.
And then I said, no way.
No way, bro. You got to be #1 forever, bro.
It's literally my job, right? So I don't know. For the foreseeable future, I'm the streak master, and no one's ahead of me. As
I've been teaching myself coding and vibe coding and browsing through all these applications and stuff, the way that Chris has been curating the Emblem terminal, which is what it's transforming to, it gives me the vibe and what Shannon's building with Emblem Build. And as that converges together, it's really going to look very similar to what Claude Desktop is. I don't know if anyone's ever used Claude Desktop, but at the top, there's like 3 different options, right? There's, was it chat, co-work, and code, right? So then we're going to have trade and build, right? Maybe a special third one in the future. And it's going to be, you're basically one-stop shop for as an AI terminal. I think we're definitely in the right direction to expand beyond trading. AI trading is definitely going to be here, but I think we've realized that we've run up that hill and we're like, fuck, there's no one here.
There's no one here.
There's no one here. I got to go back down and find another hill right now until everyone kind of comes around. But that's what smart teams do, because what teams who are stubborn is they'll just continue building up that hill when there's no one fucking there, right? I mean, we definitely have very loyal people, 100 people or so have been coming to the platform every day since we launched, right? Those are the power users and the people who believe. But 100 people, as much as I love all of you, are not going to get us to scale, right? So you got to start bringing other offerings into the platform to encourage people to participate. And so it just gives me the vibe that it's kind of being the crypto version of the Claude desktop app, which I love. I don't use anything else outside of having to go create image. I like Google's stuff for image and video generation and stuff, but coding and technical stuff and chat, Claude desktop is great. Outside of if I'm on Twitter for news type stuff.
Yeah, it's not even close. Claude's by far the GOAT. And seeing Jake's trajectory is very common for basically how everyone approaches the vibe coding scene. You kind of start at what's the most popular app? Maybe it's Lovable or Replit or something like that. Damn, this is amazing. This is incredible. I would never use anything else. And then you kind of go up the tier. You're like, all right, I need a little bit more power. I need a little bit more power. I need a little bit more agency. And once you get to Claude, you're like, holy shit. I mean, obviously there's a whole sector of Claude memes that's just so funny, but it's so accurate once you get to that stage where you're like, this is the most powerful tool that I've ever held in my hands before, ever. And you honestly feel like you just collected all the infinity stones and you can take over the world.
Yeah, it truly feels like that. I mean, I started with Lovable. I built an app, which I'm going to deploy at some point in the future. But then once I got to Claude Code, I actually started using the Emblem SDK to build my own Emblem.vision site. And obviously I've been in the conversations of building the team and stuff, so I have some insight on how everything works conceptually. But I literally just built my own Emblem Vision minter, literally in a weekend with Claude Code. And I was like, this is insane. This is what it took 6 months to direct people to build this stuff. I just built it by myself with obviously there's an SDK there, which makes it easier, but that literally took us 6 months to build. And now it's literally done in a weekend.
6 months to build. And now Jake built it in 2 afternoons.
Yeah,
and
literally.
He's never developed anything in his life. He doesn't even know what coffee.
It's crazy.
Insane. It's insane. And I think, that Shannon's pointed out to us, because he's frontline. He's right now you still need some sense of how to develop stuff, or some sense, and that's why these guys, Shannon and some of our dev team are just exploding in creativity and stuff, because it's they know what they're doing and they know how to manage these AI tools in a way that makes sense, and so they can build this incredible stuff every day, right? But Shannon says in 6 months to a year, probably maybe 2 years at the most, you don't want to even need that at all. You'll just be able to be a creative person with ideas and be able to bring things to life. Yeah, I mean, what's more exciting than that? I mean, right now we're definitely in this dev heavy stage. But it's just in the next 2 years, it's not going to be there. And it's not even going to be feel like building stuff. It's just going to be people need something and it happens, right? And that's where the people who are providing the infrastructure like us, man, it's just incredible. We all feel it, dude. It's just incredible feeling where if you're an infrastructure play and you can be an infrastructure for what's coming, bro, there is no better time ever to be in this space, because if we land somewhere on that spectrum, bro, it's you're a global company at scale to literally every person on the planet. We have to be the infrastructure. That's it.
When I was talking with Claude this morning, and I was kind of going back and forth with him about what Shannon had built in his building with the build product, and he had said something profound, which we had been talking about internally for a while. But he basically said that the SDKs are the moat of Emblem, and SDKs are the moat of any company in an AI world, right? Because SDKs are natively in custom code that allows people to build with your product. And I think that's why you see a lot of these companies now I've never seen more SDKs deployed than I've seen in the last like 5 months or so. I think because that's what everyone realizes is in a vibe code world, the applications are what's getting disrupted, right? If you could just go and spin up your own deck screener, if you could go spin up your own CoinGecko or go spin up your own trading application, right? That's why there's that SaaS apocalypse on Wall Street right now. But the AIs are not good enough or strong enough right now, or maybe they don't even have the awareness on what to build on the back end infrastructure. And that's obviously where a culture and community comes from. And Emblem's been building that for 10 years. And so right now, if you go to emblemvault.dev, I think there's like 5 SDKs. I think ultimately, there's going to be 6, if I count that right. And all of those are going to be used within the build product to go and kind of vibe your own crypto applications. I don't think anyone really has those capabilities because you don't have those SDKs and they don't have the fundamental knowledge or skill to do so. So, you combine all that with the Emblem token. We've got a lot of awesome ideas with the Emblem token. I think it's actually really the first time in the company's history that we can actually lean into tokenomics because the product is actually there. And all the old Koval people hate me for saying this, but I've been saying it for 3 years, is that Emblem's a products company. You gotta focus on the product before you can focus on tokenomics. A lot of the VC companies who go VC raise, they start out as being a token company, and look where they all are. They all fail, right? You got to build a strong foundation. It took us, at least since Adam and I have been with here and Chris, 3.5 years to kind of get to this position. But now the products are almost to a point to where they're stable and can kind of operate on their own, right? Migrate Fund is just about making it more efficient so that soon it'll be public, probably next month, so people could just go set up their own migrations. All the SDKs are pretty much unified and built. You got the Emblem terminal. And at that point, then you can focus on being a little bit more of a token company than a product company and start leaning into all those different ideas. And, we'll see how the migration goes and see what the turnout and stuff is. But, all of those additional tokens, whatever that number is, 5%, 50%, whatever it is. I hope it's not 50% because the majority of people to show up. But, a lot of that's going to get put back to use in the ecosystem. And as Chris mentioned, do your streaks. Don't let Chris be the streak master. Someone's got to match this man. So it's exciting.
Yeah, this is we've been saying it as we should perpetually for over a year. This is the best position we've ever been in. And every day we're a little bit closer. We're a little bit closer to the end goal. And I mean, how many products do we have right now? And then how many products are we going to have once all these mature and the agentic world really starts to take off? And we're not just like a $1 million revenue per year company. We're a 5 million revenue per year, 10 million revenue per year. And just like, this is the promise of Web3, to find teams that are early, that just never give up, that will keep on taking shots on goal. And eventually you get that one outsized gigantic winner. And then you can funnel that into all of the other businesses. And I mean, if you're an Emblem supporter, if you've been a Koval supporter, if you're a Migrate Fund supporter or Agent Hustle supporter, this is literally the time. I mean, internally, I've never seen us be as cohesive and just free, like, agency building in all different directions, but all cohesively at the same time that we are right now. So internally, every day, it feels like a magic show.
It's like, I mean, just to think about it kind of big picture, it's like, we've been able to, as a company, have 2 kind of winning apps or winning products. And it's really fucking hard to have winning products in crypto. It's darn near impossible. And what this enables, what Emblem builds going to enable for people is, I mean, yeah, you've kind of already been able to build on Emblem, but it's so hard, dude. Nobody really did it, right? And we've already had people build stuff on top of us now, right? With this AI layer, it's just different. And not only allowing, vibe coding normies to do it, but other teams, to really do something significant and build out something, that's a winner in the same way that Migrate Fun is a winner. I think that's more exciting. I mean, I think we'll be able to create brand new products that work and win, but we want other people to win too. And I think that's the big shift that's coming in the next month or so.
Yeah, it looks like one of our devs was using Emblem build and just built a liquid staking app. Some sort it looks like. Damn.
Just built the next Uniswap, by the way. It just launched. So if you
liquid staking redefined for the digital. Wow, this thing's kind of crazy looking.
This is the era of dev teams like ours. When you have a team of 10 and you're fluid and malleable and you can kind of go where the wind takes you. This is not the time of the behemoth, colossal, 50,000 person meta team. Like that, those are all getting slashed because they don't need them and you can't move anywhere that you need to move. This is the team of like the small, nimble dev teams that can really capitalize on what the next big idea is. And there's a lot of next big ideas that will be coming as we enter the agentic world.
And the A-to-A flows. We've been talking with one blockchain who's close to, I guess I'd say everyone here, who's reached out to us, and we're talking with them on a partnership because they're really interested in AI and what we're building and kind of our closeness to some of the older blockchains. So I think that'll be cool when that's announced, and people really understand, right? I saw today, was it today or yesterday? Tempo launched the Stripe chain, and the first thing they came out with was agentic payments. And I saw the Paradigm guys. They started replying to themselves posting from a few months ago, talking about how their big idea was agentic payments. And I was like, we were talking about that like a year ago. These guys are just now catching up. Like,
literally,
we were talking about this a year ago, like literally over a year ago.
And all the and with all the posting yesterday and all the hype. I mean, these were like huge accounts, obviously, like fucking head of Visa's fucking marketing tweeting about this shit, right? And you see, of all of that, A-to-A payments, man, it's going to be amazing. There were basically zero A-to-A payment. The only thing was they set up like a climate fund foundation. Like, I think the best thing to do with my agent is donate to another agent who's involved in fucking climate change. I was like, yeah, that's where we are, bro. We're so like, we all know this is happening, right? But at the end of the day, it's not happened yet. Like as Jake said, we went up to the top of the mountain, we looked around, and we were the only motherfuckers up there. Like, nobody's there yet. And so these guys launch it into dust.
Into the void.
Into the void, bro. It's so funny. Because usually big companies don't enter into the void like that. Which just tells us, I mean, we're so directionally right, it's retarded. But
dude, Visa dropped the CLI.
I know, dude. It's insane, dude.
Agent
fucking
CLI.
Insane,
Damn.
man.
It is crazy. And then Tether launched something. I had to honestly read their headline.
So good, dude. Bring that up. Bring that up.
I had to read it like 4 times. I was like, what is going on here? What is this?
It won my award for word salad of the year, bro. It's literally like we've launched. Dude, we have to read it because it's so fucking insane.
Let me see if I could find it. Here it is. Yeah. Here it is. Oh, dude, this is a good one. This is the most buzzwords I could see in a single post.
Incredible.
Yeah. Or maybe Adam, maybe I need to find yours. So it was, because I think you posted about it. Was it a day or two ago?
It had to be like yesterday. I wrote, yeah, I think
the word salad. Oh, here it is. Tether's QVAC launches world's first cross-platform BitNet LoRa framework to enable billion-parameter AI training and inference on consumer GPUs and smartphones.
Incredible.
What that means is ChatGPT on my phone. What does that even mean, bro? I don't even know. Like, literally, BitNet LoRa framework, bro. I mean, it's just what the fuck.
Yeah, ultimately, what I think it is like you could train an AI locally on your phone. So they're gonna go try and compete with all of the large AI models, right? Because you're basically renting compute from them. Instead, you get to run it on your phone at a much cheaper rate. I guess this would kind of partner with like what Apple's trying to do, right? Apple's trying to do like local AI. And Chris said this right in our chat that you responded to this and said, I guess this is what you do when you just have infinite money.
The infinite money glitch, bro.
I do want to come back though. Not you talked about Apple. We talked about Apple a long time ago, and I said Apple will probably win the AI race. It kind of seems like they're going to win the AI race. Adam was against it. I don't know where Jake stood, but
Dude, they don't have any AI. They've outsourced the entire thing to Google.
That's the whole problem. I mean, every other company is literally wasting tens of billions of dollars, and they're doing nothing. And they're just going to buy the winner.
They just get paid.
Or they're going to have everyone buy Mac Minis, dude.
I want to say that they're getting paid by Google. It's the same sort of deal as what,
but these companies are wasting hundreds of billions of dollars, and Apple is sitting on all their cash, just waiting to see what happens. That's like the best place that's where you want to be. So good insight from Chris Devin.
Yeah, he's right. I think I think they're going to go after the local AI race, right? So I think all these AI companies are spending Google is supposed to spend like $120 billion or something this year. It does look like Google is starting to run away with it from like the larger. They launched something yesterday called what was that? Is some sort of like UI framework. They launched some sort of like vibe coding thing yesterday. And it looked pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, but they're just like suite of products. There's suite of products. Oh, it's called Stitch by Google. It's their vibe coding thing. But their suite's pretty good. It looks like OpenAI has basically announced that they're caving in on consumer and they're going to start going towards enterprise. That's what it sounded like.
OpenAI is,
that's a tough shift, bro.
Well, because Anthropic already has all the B2B business. So, and now Anthropic is cannibalizing all of the consumer business. So it's like they're giving up the only lead that they had. And if you look at subscriptions for ChatGPT are down, way down. That's my feeling every single morning.
Fuck them. But I still see fucking people tweeting about WorldCoin and all that shit. I mean, is that going to save Sam's ass? I don't know, man.
I don't see one tweet about. But
you don't see it? I see it. Well, maybe that's because I clicked on one once. But yeah, I still see WorldCoin. Who was it? Oh, Coinbase tweeted about it. You know how this is? You need the digital ID layer bullshit. I don't know, man. There's still. I never bet against good operators, and I think Sam's a good operator. So got to be careful.
Like winning. They all win, right? The market's so big that they all win. Grok wins, OpenAI wins, but like who really wins?
NVIDIA and the power companies win, basically.
Yeah. So
has there been anything else interesting in crypto outside of the AI? I mean, we got all of our regulatory clarity, and that kind of just got swept under the rug. The SEC and CFTC come out a joint statement, basically like nothing's a security unless it's a tokenized security.
This is everything you guys have wanted for a decade. Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit. Bearish cycle. It's literally insane, man.
Then you have then literally the next day, the S&P came out and they're like, we're partnering with who was it, with Polymarket or with Hyperliquid, so that you could trade the S&P.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Literally nobody cares.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it is showing crypto signal, like crypto is dead, like dead right now. I mean, it is just all these wishes, like, 5 years ago, if this happened, it would be like miracle. Everything would have 2x'd in a day. Bitcoin would 2x, altcoins would 10x. Like, it would be insane. But now it's like nobody gives a shit. No, just frankly, nobody believes in it.
I feel like crypto just needs new influencers. Like, it needs that new homegrown leaders of voice, because it's still just people complaining about pump fund. Like, it's still like the last cycles, people complaining about no pump fund airdrop. This thing's a bundle, that thing's a bundle. It's like, can we move on from this already?
Although I guess that was the news. OpenSea, right? Delaying their delaying their.
Totally didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, the Vanity Fair on top of that was.
Bro, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I didn't see the article. All I saw was the OpenSea founder, with his girl.
What happened? I missed this.
So OpenSea, they delayed the airdrop, and then like the next day or the same day, this Vanity Fair article came out, which included the OpenSea founder, and just the worst kind of publicity about, how he's half a billionaire and here's his like VC wife or whatever she is, and how they're like hoity-toity in New York City. It just really really negative.
Just talked about like
on
his
the
private
timeline.
security team and how they spend like multi-millions here on everything that they do,
Ugh.
basically, and just basically like a faucet for spending money. And then
Ugh.
they delayed the OpenSea, obviously, airdrop,
Just
and
a
it was just like
terrible
the worst PR campaign you could ever see.
the worst,
He's
bro.
crashing out on the timeline, like, I can't believe they would write this. It was just,
Bro,
an
literally
incredible
the
timing.
worst.
Another incredible moment in crypto history.
As Magic Eden basically closes up shop.
Yeah. I think honestly, if I was OpenSea, I would just be like, we're shelving. We're not doing the token. Like, what? There's no benefit of them doing the token. Honestly, they should just.
I feel like it's been delayed for so long. Yeah, it's just going to be people selling and complaining.
It's literally there's no way it could possibly go good. It can't, unless they did some sort of like if they leaned in and did something, out of the box and did like, okay, and and it's an ownership token, whatever, you stake it and you get partial ownership of OpenSea or something like that. Okay, now you maybe have got something, but there's no way they're going to do that. They're not. They can't do that, right?
What's going good mean? Like, they're going to launch it. It's going to be $2 or $3 billion market cap. Their VCs are going to cash out 500 million.
Yeah,
that's good, right? That's good for that. Like, that's the scenario.
That would be great, but who on earth, who on the planet would buy that? There's literally zero
right now. That's why they're pushing it out into the future so that they could get more retail to buy those bags. That's the whole playbook. So,
and you did see Kraken pushed out their IPO too. I mean, so maybe that too. I mean, surprisingly,
they just need to grow up. They were an ideals based company. They're turning into something different, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like Jesse. I think Jesse's, like, to your point, like, super leader in crypto, but obviously gone away from that. Now they want to be, Coinbase too. And the reality is they should have IPO'd, ate their fucking mud, and then grow and build a fucking valuable company, right? It's like, but they chicken shit, think they're going to all, everybody gets the exit liquidity on the IPO. And but everybody's waking up to this fucking game, dude. He's just like, the only one who feels like he could definitely pull it off is like Musk, because Musk has this, like, he can do it. He can convince people of like a vision of the future.
He's a good storyteller.
Yeah. Who at Kraken is going to convince me that Kraken's this, like, is going to be a part of the, Web3 agentic future? Like, dude, they can't. There's nobody there who can tell that story, dude. And so they're fucking dead on arrival. All this shit is dead on arrival. Like, people have woken up to the fucking scam that this all is, and it's just not going to work anymore. So I don't know, man.
I think SpaceX people will buy. I think Anthropic people will buy. OpenAI, I think some people will buy. Although I think Anthropic will definitely shoot much higher.
Well, the marketing on Anthropic, they're doing I've commented on it a couple times. It's fucking genius. We're not sure. We're scared that it's fucking already AGI. We're scared. Like, dude, perfect fucking marketing, man. Perfect. We're worried that it's a super genius already. Like, oh no shit. I wonder. I bet you are. Yeah, coming into the fucking ICO or whatever. You
guys are gonna have to buy it so that we can rein it in,
bro. We need help.
We need governance over this AGI. buy the shares.
So smart. Yeah, those guys smart.
Yeah,
Kraken not so smart. Not so smart.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the only other maybe if company that were to IPO, Tether, I think would do insane numbers.
Yeah, bro.
Insane numbers.
Pretty well, actually, too. So Tether would run laps around that.
Yep.
Yeah. Who do you think would end up higher after the first day of trading? OpenAI, Anthropic, or Tether?
Probably OpenAI, just because the retail would hear it, they know it. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're on scales. Like Tether, how much is Tether worth?
I think they said 500B.
Yeah,
so I saw last round.
OpenAI is already trying to run $1 trillion, right? They're trying to raise $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think
one interesting thing, I'll give you guys the tip on this. I saw a study a few months ago about like IPO, how you get this kind of dip after IPOs. Almost universally, you know this one, Chris. And so they were going through Meta, all these different IPOs, and you always get this like dip of 10 to 12 months post IPO where all the early people, all this people who are in the business forever sell out, and you get this almost universally get a dip. But if you really believe in the company, like that's the buy time for those long ones. And I think Like Circle is coming up on its 11-month, 10-month in here. So pay attention to that if you're, Wall Street buyer, where it could be kind of your generational. If you think this is going to be something important over the next, decade, you might get your buy time now in the next, month or two.
Yeah, I think it might have been 14 months. It might have been something like that. But they basically back tested every IPO ever. And they said the best time to buy an IPO is like 14 months after the launch. And universally, that was like the best time to make money on it. Good call.
So where are we within the crypto cycle then? It seems like no matter how much bad news is getting thrown out, it's just not doing as much impact. I mean, yesterday, Israel attacked, was it Iran's oil field? And then Iran went and attacked Qatar's oil field. Both is responsible for like 20% of oil. Oil's at like $130. And Bitcoin drops like 4%. It seems like no one even cares anymore. It's like, if you've been in crypto long enough, you've seen this game so much, right? After the FTX collapse, after 2018, eventually people just stop caring about the bad news. And eventually the bad news ends up being bullish at some point in time. And it feels like we're starting to get to that. Yeah,
you're muted. You.
Oh, eventually you get that final capitulation where it's just like this. It seems like World War III is on the brink of tomorrow. Every war analyst says, oh, this is the war. And then that's actually when the markets ironically go up. Sellers exhausted. The funniest meme of all time. The sellers, David Goggins.
Sellers exhausted.
But I mean, also, I don't care. Like this shit is going to ramp super hard at some point in the next 6 months or whatever, whether it's the war spirals out of control and we have to print $500 billion or $2 trillion or whatever it is, or I mean, the consumer is in insanely tough shape, even in the US. Young people have no money at all. All young people are involved in crypto. The only way to even have a chance at giving most young people life is to kind of ramp this industry. And it's super sensitive to inflation. It's super sensitive to money printing and monetary debasement. Obviously, the president and his whole family is kind of super involved. So whether that's good or bad, it's a reality. I don't know. Eventually, this ends way up very quickly. I don't know when it happens, but that's my.
I saw a post earlier about how international flights have like 3x'd because of the oil prices, and I was like, we're about to have if the Iran war continues, we're about to have like COVID 2, where flights are just so expensive, everyone's going to be stuck at home gambling again because you literally can't travel anywhere, right? It's like everyone's priced out of flying. Like it was like the flight from US to France went up to like $2,500 or $3,000 or something like that. Yeah, I was seeing some posts about. I haven't like looked to verify. But...
Oh shit! Well, I got to check my flight to Vegas, bro. Maybe I won't be coming to Vegas. How much is that Vegas flight going to be?
I mean, I'm going to Mexico next week, and when I booked a flight a few weeks ago, it was like $600, which usually they're like $300.
Okay,
so it's like it was already kind of going up. Usually, like going from Vegas to Mexico is like dirt cheap.
Oh wow, okay, that's interesting because also like there have been a ton of cancellations to Mexico with all that shit happening. So I'd be surprised. So that's actually probably still keeping it relatively cheap. So even 600 doubling is like, yeah, I can imagine they might be 4 or 5xing in other kind of locations and shit. Are you going next week? I'm actually traveling next week too. Are you traveling?
I'm going on Monday or Wednesday. I'm gonna go. Okay. I'll be down there for like a week. I'll still be here and everything, but the travel. You try to travel in between the show.
No, we're traveling on I'm traveling on a Wednesday too. So
yeah.
Chris, you traveling too, bro? You're going too. Fuck. No. Emblem's on the road next week.
Chris has got Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella's coming up in like 2 weeks, so I'll be.
Is it 2 weeks already?
No, it's like 3 weeks, but yeah.
Coachella, yeah.
I mean, you got midterms. You got the president's popularity is the lowest it's ever been. I mean, if the consumer slips even further, if the markets slip at all, I don't know. There's no chance of anyone winning. And
cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah,
this is when Bitcoin's supposed to shine, but it never seems to shine.
It's I think on the month it's up like 3% or 4%, whereas gold and silver are down like 20% or something like that. That was probably like the ultimate rotation was when gold was at like almost $6,000.
Yeah.
and Bitcoin was down at 60K. The God trade was probably just to rotate that to Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin for a few years.
Yeah.
And watch Bitcoin go to like 180K or whatever.
I mean, we all know the outcome. The outcome is that this should ramps and everybody's sidelined. You know, Bitcoin rockets to 180,000 and everybody pronounced it dead. That's the only outcome that will happen every single time.
Yeah.
We're closer every day to whatever that is. So I don't know what happens, but I know that's the only outcome. That's the only way that this ends.
Well, the people who are new, they don't remember that. Most historically, Bitcoin's gains for the year come in like a 10-day window. That's
10 days
that's
out of the
okay.
year.
Yep.
Yeah, where it just shoots up and there's no pullbacks at all. And everyone, the timeline just becomes cringe because everyone's painful or in pain that they're sidelined from it. And they're forced to buy higher than when they had exited and been grave dancing. I've seen this, 6-7 times already at this
Every
point.
time. Story on repeat. It never changes.
Humans will be humans. The question is then, when do altcoins come back? I guess, right?
Never. Dead.
They're dead forever. I
Yeah,
saw
Adam's on that camp. See, he's on the other. He's Asm. You know, he's exactly where everyone else is. That means that we're close.
I gotta say the migration coins, they migrate and they're doing pretty well afterwards.
Yep.
War went and hit its all-time high. I know they pull back and stuff like that, but I see a lot of these teams who have migrated who stuck around and didn't implode after the first week or two. Like all of these coins, the Gamu Gators hit an all-time high recently. I saw
Congrats to
Ubi.
them. Love those guys.
Yeah, those guys came back and they were getting attacked through the CTO on the other side of their, they really
was a
they fought
crazy
back, bro.
Somebody, because with these meme coins, sometimes the communities get split, but for them, somehow the scam team CTO'd the deck screener of the old Gamu and started pumping it. So they had to send copyright infringement to deck screener to tell them to take it down. And then the coin fell apart. Well, you know what they did is they took all those old tokens from lake claims and just dumped on the pump.
Yeah, insane. I mean, dude, the dynamics are so crazy.
It's so crazy. Crazy.
That happened to Mitchie too. Mitchie, they tried pumping the old token. They just dumped like 10% of supply on them.
Yeah.
It's the best way to keep them down.
Sell
That's
all
way you
buttons,
gotta love them. But like Ubi hit an all-time high, Gamu did, War, meme coin, the Rain team did. Like, I don't know. People hate on the migrations, but they seem to do well. I saw a lot of the haters, or I guess just the people who engagement farm migrations.
That's it.
Which I hope they keep doing it. Honestly, it just brings more attention. Like anytime
I kind of egg them on now because I'm just so over them. Like, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, the Solana post and all these ones are like, they rugged. I'm like, yes, they did. Now look at the coin. Go look at it.
You missed this one over here too. Make sure.
They did. Keep going.
But like, where would these tokens be without a migration? Nowhere. They would be at zero. That's where they were. They would be absolutely.
Shit, we would have been at zero if we didn't migrate.
Yeah, it's very true.
This is the whole point. It was like, yo, you got to breathe some lifeblood back into this.
Yep.
And it did. And so we prepare for the Emblem migration. Yeah, so the volume on Hustle was like $700. I was like, that's because people just stopped buying. Honestly, Hustle sellers ran out like a month ago. Like that shit's been just pretty much stagnant for a while, which is great because then that becomes the floor for Emblem pretty much.
Yeah, we've got like one more to get rid of.
Oh, we got one more wallet.
Yeah.
Have you been watching?
No, he's like the only seller. He's got like 6K. He's like the only guy that sells every time. Anytime it hits 4 mil, he just sells 1,500. I think he has like 6K left. He had like 70K or something like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the original Tensorium to Hustle migrators ended up selling everything already. Because I would look, people would post it in the chat all the time. So when you go look, it's like they would migrate 1% in one wallet, and you could just see them slowly selling over time. But Hustle sellers are definitely exhausted. They're gone. They're fat David Goggins.
Yeah, right. I couldn't be more confident in our placements and our positioning in the market and everything that we have built that we haven't even unveiled. This is the golden era of Emblem. This is our year. So
that it is.
That for what you will, but this is it, man. We've been waiting for an Emblem token since forever, and now we finally get Emblem as the home base. I mean, we're really prepared for this. This is going to be incredible.
Couldn't have said it any better. Kind of crazy that there wasn't an Emblem token for 10 years. You had Koval C, Keys Attempt, Hustle. I think that's it.
Shots on goal, man. Just keep on shooting. You know, Emblem is the final. That's the finale. We've learned a lot. We've learned so much. We've tied up so many loose ends. It's incredible to get here to launch Emblem is the best place that we could have ever imagined. So I'm stoked for it. This is going to be epic.
Yes, sir. Everyone, until then, enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Be safe. We'll be back here Tuesday. 2 teams are migrating on Tuesday, the Brainlet team and Homebrew Robotics. Actually get to talk with a crypto robotics company. It's kind of interesting. Seeing more of those. I know the Opus team that migrated, converted their company to a robotics company. So those seem to be becoming a little bit more popular. So we'll learn more about what the intersection of AI, robotics, and crypto are on Tuesday, as well as the good old Brainlet team, which is the OG meme. Got to say, the community is exactly like the meme. So until then, everyone have a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys soon.
Later, guys.